This is the Fantasy Football Unlimited podcast with your host, Kevin Murray.
Welcome into the Fantasy Football Unlimited podcast. Again, we have the special guest, John McGlynn, breaking down some commissioner topics. Today, we're going to go over some last place punishments, get his ideas, his thoughts on some of these last place punishments. Welcome in, buddy.
Thanks for having me, Kev. I love winning leagues. I don't really lose too many, so but I'm looking for some great ideas to pawn off on the rest of my league mates when they lose my McGlynn home leagues. Absolutely, I was born for this.
So today we're going to talk about some last place punishments. I'm just going to throw them out there for you. Break it down. Let me know your thoughts. First, we'll start with just the last place T-shirt. You know, something they can wear at the draft, something embarrassing. You can wear it at a special event. You can make them wear it to a certain event. You can get it super oversized, super undersized to draw up some of the flair of the punishment. What do you think about that?
So that shirt idea is fantastic because, yes, you can make it a T-top, and some guys, they look bad enough in T-shirts, let alone a T-shirt that goes up to the bottom of their rib cage and the rest of their belly kind of hangs out. But they also have to be the guy putting the stickers on the board at the draft in that outfit. Usually it's at a Hooters or somewhere that's highly visible, people can see. So we've done that before. It's a fantastic punishment. And, I mean, we made somebody wear it to a wedding one time, a loser shirt. So, yeah, they had to dress up. They had to go to a wedding with their baseball shirt on. It was a friend's wedding in a backyard. It wasn't like a serious black tie affair like that. So it was a little bit easier to digest that for the wives and stuff when football punishment at a wedding when everybody knew was on the same page. And having the wives involved in a situation like that, it just makes fantasy football so much better.
I love it. That's fun. Okay, last place license plate. I mean, again, license plate like frame. So obviously they got to parade around town with that license plate cover or frame on there and display their lack of fantasy football skills.
That's a little bit easier to swallow because I think you're like first couple of days you're like, oh, everybody in the world's behind me. They know that I'm a loser in fantasy football. But I think after a while you just you forget it's on there. Like, I couldn't even tell you what my license plate cover is right now. But it's only a year until next year when somebody else loses. So it's a little bit easier to swallow knowing that you're only going to have it on there for a year. But it's definitely a zinger. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, next up, last place trophy. I know Trophy Smack has some great last place trophies. Essentially, just another award to give at your draft. You got a Trophy Smack or whatever trophy to display.
I see the toilet bowl trophies of the guy sitting on a toilet bowl trophy, stuff like that. Yeah, I think you got to be specific about you got to make sure it's in your house in a certain place because when you're some. Like I said before, it's cool to have some awesome wives in the league that go along with this stuff. But if you have a wife who's not really happy about, having a toilet bowl in the middle of her front room, especially like on, certain parties or certain days when there are family events, things like that, you can't move it. And that's what you signed up for. You got to do it. So it's sometimes a little bit harder for other people to swallow these punishments. And my wife would laugh at it. It'd be no big deal. But some people's wives would be like, I'm not doing that. But you got to do it, man. Like anybody can come by any day, ring the doorbell and look. And, if you don't have that trophy where it's supposed to be, you could be in trouble. You have auditors come in there once in a while, double check and, make sure that it's there. So it's got to be on the mantle or it's got to be on the karaoke cabinet, whatever, So it's, and I guess you just get more and more punishments, the more and more you don't follow the rules. So it can get real bad on that situation.
I love it. I love the auditors, the random audits for the last place trophy. That's good. Yeah, I made a custom. My daughter and I made a custom last place trophy a few years ago. We basically just created I took a bunch of old trophies that I had, kind of assembled this monstrosity 6 foot tall trophy, painted it all kinds of colors and decorated it. And that's the fun thing is you can make a homemade one that's extreme and again have to display that's and have it audited. That's pretty good. I like that. Okay, so next one, last place punishment. You got to pay a fine. You got to pay a certain dollar amount to the league pot.
You pay the winners, but winnings pay the winners entry fee next year, pay for beer next year, or pay for food, pay for everybody's food or everybody's beer at the draft, things like that. Yeah, it's as long as you have that in the rule book or on the league message board that, hey, next year's punishment is going to be so-and-so before the league starts. It's not like an ad lib thing or like, hey, let's make them do this now. as long as everybody's on the same page right from the get-go that you're going to, hey, if you lose this league, you're going to have to pay for beer at the, everybody's beer or the first round of shots or something like that. You don't want to make it like too much of a financial commitment for anybody, but, a round of shots at the bar, or, buying everybody's $7 hamburger, or, that times 12 people. Yeah, it's, it's like kicking the pants a little bit, but it's not too crazy. Or if you pay the entrance fee for the, if you lost, you got to pay an entrance fee for yourself and the previous year's champion. Those are all pretty good punishments. It stings you a little bit. It makes you want to be a little more competitive next year for sure.
Yeah, and in the next one, I think you'll like this. Just buy the champion a ring, so you know how to get rings for people. Basically last place has to go get a championship ring for the champ, or through Trophy Smack, or you said you had some good resources on Etsy. That makes sense.
Can you write whatever you want on that ring, or does it got to be like league specific? Like because you could be like, hey, this guy's a piece of garbage.
Well,
that.
For the champ, so there should probably be some parameters.
Yeah, the champ gets to design the ring, and then this guy's just got to pay for it, kind of thing, right? That's all right. Yeah, I guess as long as you're underneath a certain I think these rings are like $28 or $31 or something like that. I mean, some of them are. If you go to Trophy Smack, they got some pretty nice stuff on there. Some of the other sites. So, I think that's cool, and that's just knowing that you paid for somebody else's ring. It's kind of a that doesn't settle very well in my stomach. So I couldn't imagine like doing that. That would be tough.
That's a good idea. Okay, running next year's draft board, that just makes a lot of sense.
Yep, we do that. We did that for years. Like you had to be the dressed in half shirt or just being the guy who's got to put the sticker bitch we call him. That's kind of thing. That was the punishment for a long time. Nobody wants to get up and put every sticker on there when you're trying to do navigate your own draft board and stuff. It's kind of a pain in the butt. At all of my home leagues, I have two people. One person putting stickers on the board and one person inputting a computer or whatever. That nowadays it is what it is. But it's always nice to have at least one person. This year's draft, it's Kevin Coleman's flying in from California to be our sticker person, just so everybody else can kind of just do our draft stuff, and then he's the draft board guy. So
love it.
Yeah,
it's good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, I finished in last place. Sign on the side of the road.
That's the best. I think that's the best. That's especially in if you live in a smaller town. I think this hits because if you live in Chicago, you're standing on a board, you get a lot of beeps and horns. But you could swallow that a little easier, not knowing anybody when there's a million people going back and forth. A certain times of the day. But if the smaller the town and the more people know everybody, and I guess people stop and take pictures or get out and pose with them or something like that. It's a little more. I feel like the smaller, the Mayberry kind of feel would be a terrible place to be that guy. The whole town knows you're the loser. It's almost like an annual event, like when somebody's got to stand on the side of the road with a sign and everybody goes out and take pictures and make fun of them, and the whole town knows that you lost your fantasy football league. That's got to be super cool.
I love it. Okay, so next up, rival apparel for a week or a certain time period. You basically got to wear the team's apparel of the team that you hate the most for a whole week, or basically if the champion last place has different favorite teams. Basically, the champ can determine what team's outfits they wear.
Yeah, we did this. This was a Facebook thing for a while for us. It was week by week, game by game, and sometimes the whole season you had to change it to we're all Bears fans here, and if the one guy lost and he had to change his. He had to dress in a Aaron Rodgers and Packers hat, and that would have be his profile picture for the rest of the offseason, all the way until the next year started, dressed as Aaron Rodgers, and that he had to keep that as his profile picture. And someone who from Chicago, people just hate the Packers here, and that is I can't. It's every day because you log on to Facebook every day, you log on to Twitter every day, and every time you go on there, you see yourself in if you're a Browns fan, you see yourself in the Steelers uniform, or vice versa. It's got to be like, oh God, it almost makes you not even want to log on to social media to see that disgusting picture all the time. So that's a good one.
I love it. Next up, spin a wheel of punishment. Basically, everyone in the league comes up with their own recommended punishment. You put that on a wheel, and then you spin that wheel and see what happens.
Those are good ones. I'd like to see what the punishments were on the wheel as far as chugging a beer or eating a hot jalapeno or something like that. I can only imagine how those would be, but that'd be cool as long as it's all the same things all the time and they don't get too nasty. I guess they can a whole bunch of terrible shots, like a cement mixer or, a red eye or something like that. Something, all terrible stuff, like, some kind of bad foods or, eating putting bugs on there, like you got to eat a spider or something like that. Or, that would be, I guess you can get pretty bad on those. So yeah, it could be tough.
Yeah, I think probably everyone submits, their ideas and they all have to be approved. Everyone's fine with that list. And then there you go. Okay, how about league relegation? You have a second league for, rising up or getting into the league. So basically from your champions type league, if you were last place, you are out until you earn your way back in.
We did that one year in a dynasty league, and it doesn't work so well because we have there's a couple neighborhood leagues, and it was, first of all, the people that were considered to be the bad league didn't like being called the bad league, first of all, and second of all, somebody actually tanked. This is definitely 100% like a redraft situation, because you could tank in dynasty on purpose and try to build for the future. And if you had the least max points for, you get the boot. And we did that. And the guy's like, I just traded for 7 first-round picks. Now somebody's going to take over my team. This is BS. So this is 100% a redraft situation. But it is cool for a redraft situation to do that. It's definitely something that I would recommend.
And obviously, it risks that person getting, their feelings hurt and feeling a little alienated. It might impact their desire to get back in the league. That's, that's a different one. It just depends on the group, I think. I think if you got, if you got 24 people or 20 people that are playing in fantasy leagues and you have and they know their spot, whether it's a relegation league or whatnot, I think it can work.
Especially when it's like all the adults are in one league and all the kids are in the other league, and the winner of the kids goes to the adult bracket, the adult goes down to kids bracket. It's got to be even like, that would be super cool.
Oh, that's extra. That's compounding punishment. I like it. Okay, next one, naming rights. The last place manager is punished by having their team renamed the next season, by the league or by the champ.
That's cool. That's a nice one. You come up with, sometimes it's kind of hard to come up with the zinger names like that, but people do it pretty good. There's some pretty smart people out there that can be pretty creative when it comes to naming somebody's team or really getting underneath somebody's skin. So yeah, that's cool, especially something that you have to log in every day, because every day you go on there and you check all your leagues. I'm in 19 leagues, so I go in there and I check, and but somebody who only had like 1 or 2 leagues and their leagues called like the Cleveland Steamers or something like that, so yeah, it would be terrible.
Okay, next up, social media takeover. Last place manager is punished by having their social media accounts run by the league for one day.
Oh man. That could be bad. That could be pretty bad. You can do a lot of damage to somebody in that situation. But hey, that's what you signed up for. It is what it is. I would love to be that. Yes, I would plan ahead and get as many bad pictures and things like that all day long. Take it, oh, that would be great. That's a good punishment. I never thought about that. That's got to be something. Yeah, that's super cool.
Okay, next up, public roasting. Probably at the draft, that last place person's got to sit there and just get a full-on roasting by everybody in the league.
That's cool. It's as long as it's all in good taste. You're not really, there's sometimes when you lose, some people take losing a little bit worse than other people. There's some big babies out there that don't understand that this is just a game. It's all for fun, and nobody likes to lose by any means whatsoever. But in the end of it, it's just a game. You go along with the fun. If they roast you, they say some things you don't agree with, and to win next year. That winning solves all problems. It is what it is. Just win, baby. That's kind of how it is. So if you lose, you got to accept the consequences. Don't be a baby about it. Just be a good sport. And and if you're the guy roasting, if you're one of the people in the league roasting the guy, don't go over the top. Like roast him real good. Say some things he did. What bad lineup decisions he made, things like that. The guy in a situation he is. Don't go after his kids or his family or things like that. Just keep it clean, but keep it good and zingers too.
Sure. Yeah, obviously you can come back to the next year, so you got to be careful, right?
Yeah. We call it, if you're not at the table, you're on the table kind of thing. So
there you go. Oh, next up, lemonade stand. Last place manager is punished by having to run a lemonade stand. And the income, the revenue from that goes directly to the league.
Oh, that is great, because you could probably put lemonade for, I'm the fantasy football loser. I have to run a lemonade stand because of it. Like completely advertise that you suck at fantasy football. It's a good one. Holy cow, that's a good one. That's I'm going to try and implement it with some of my leagues this year, because that seems like the most having a net on a busy corner street that you're running a lemonade stand that says like I lost a fantasy football, so I have to run a lemonade stand for a day. Like that's,
Exactly.
I bet you probably get some pretty good profits from that too.
You could, and again, going straight to the league, you're doing something for the league. I love it. And in there, obviously, you can decorate that lemonade stand.
Yes.
Extremely. You can also couple a lot of these together. You can make them wear that last place punishment shirt as well. At the lemonade stand. I like it too. And again, post that all on social media.
Yes.
Couple them all together. Okay, so the next one, alone on a date night. You basically have to go on a date night, kind of dinner, entertainment by yourself, but it's all got to get documented. Where you're essentially out there with nobody.
I feel like this is a member. I have friends of mine that love going to movie theaters by themselves. That would kind of weird me out. And some people like to go out deep by themselves and things like that. I guess it all depends on the person here. If I had to go sit in a restaurant by myself, I would be kind of like, because I've always had 4 kids and my wife or friends around me everywhere I go. I couldn't imagine like going somewhere and sitting by myself. But that's but some people love the quiet. That might be a privilege for somebody who's got 7 kids and a wife. They're like, oh, this is great. My wife's not taking every one of my French fries, or my kids aren't eating my steak. So it might be that might be actually a reward for somebody instead of a punishment.
It's possible. You definitely want to have certain rules and regulations around that. And obviously the extreme version of that is to go with like a blow up doll.
Shit. Oh, yes, I saw that. That was great. And they told them I saw the video that he had to go to it was a dressed blow up doll, but they went to a TGI Fridays or something like that, or Buffalo Wild Wings. And then they told the girlfriend, like, hey man, I'm sorry, but Jesse's in Buffalo Wild Wings with a different girl right now. And then the wife showed up at the place and like, what the hell are you doing here? Not, and then she figured out right away that it was a joke, but she wasn't really happy about it because she had to drag all 4 kids like to the restaurant to find out this guy's eating dinner with a different girl, and it was all a prank. But it's I guess that's a good punishment. You can go pretty far with that.
You sure could, for sure. Next up, you got to go take the SATs or some type of standardized test.
I would just show them the results of my first one. They'd laugh about that anyway. So
that's enough fun. You gotta reveal your previous test.
Yeah, actually try to beat my ACT score from the past. It'd probably be I might do better now, but that's cool. That's something fun. I think people would be more. That'd be more cool than a punishment for some people, because just kind of see where you're at right now in a game of life.
That's good. That's good. But with something like that, I think a lot of it is you have to get a certain score in order to not have to retake it.
Oh, it costs like $130 to take that test, doesn't it?
That's a part of the punishment. Yeah. No, it's definitely on the extreme end.
Oh man, I've been taking that thing for 5 straight years.
Yeah. Next up, lose a draft pick. I mean, I don't know what pick it is, but basically, your last place, you lose a certain predetermined draft pick the next year.
That's a zinger, because in some of our leagues, like when we first started before, for collusion, which we determined was like, hey, we found out that you did this, or you traded these 2 guys, and then you traded. So we had a set of brothers in the league one time, and excuse me, they traded. The one guy was, both of his quarterbacks were on a bye, so he had traded one of his quarterbacks that was on a bye for his brother's quarterback, she had 3 starters. And then that guy ended up winning a week because he had quarterbacks that were eligible to play that week. And then the following week, they traded the quarterbacks back to each other just to do it. So it was complete collusion. So we ended up taking draft picks away from like their whole, it was a redraft league. So, but they didn't have a first or second round draft pick in the following year because of that. So it's, that's the punishments to be determined. But for in a dynasty, even so much as losing a 3rd round pick is pretty tough sometimes, especially if it's a first or a second. They're hard to come by, and I think people underestimate draft picks sometimes. So that's a good one.
Okay. Next up, definitely verified extreme body piercing. You got to get something pierced.
I would never agree to that. No way. I don't do the needle thing, man. I
wouldn't either.
No way. I especially like I see people do that, like their nipples or their belly button ring or thing. I've seen people do it, or an eyebrow ring, or those kind of things. Like that would be not in our league bylaws, because I have not agreed to that. No way, not a chance.
I'm with you on that one, but it's been done, and those people are crazy and dedicated, and a little bit more crazy probably. Okay, next up, a superhero costume. You essentially have to wear a superhero costume for a day and perform random acts of kindness around your community or town and document it.
Is awesome. That is great. I love that. That would be the videotape. I mean, you wouldn't even need to take over somebody's social media for that day. That would be a whole. I think like 4 hours is probably enough. Like a whole day is kind of extreme, but 4 or 5 hours of like handing out, giving like flowers to hand out to pretty girls or something like that, where you're dressed as Superman or something like that. That's that would be great. That's super. Give out candy bars to little kids or something like that. Yeah, that's a cool punishment.
I love it. Well, thank you, John, for your expertise on these items. Thank you so much for coming on the show. You are an incredible commissioner, and all of the stuff you do for your league mates. They're so lucky to have you. So, buddy, I'm looking forward to seeing you in Canton.
Thank you for listening to the Fantasy Football Unlimited podcast. Until next time, be sure to follow and subscribe to all of FFU's social media accounts for daily content.